Okay, this is starting the second how-to video on how to play Kilkami. This one is on pieces. Primarily, we're going to start with this right here. Now, this is an oversized platform. The purpose of this platform is that sometimes we have pieces that are too big to go on the board. We have, of course, a lot of pieces that are the right size. They fit in that square just fine. You know, he fits on it just fine. He's just over the white square. But then you get some of these pieces right here. They would fit on the big one, but they're not going to fit very nicely over here. The purpose of an oversized square, oversized platform, is that you put the piece on the platform and pop this one out. It actually doesn't stick in. This matches that, so I know when I'm moving around the board that that is my character. Say I get another one. I want to play the King of Shiva, let's say. The platforms could be bigger, true, and yet that means more plastic, which makes more cost for you when you print it. And generally, the King of Shiva is one of the biggest pieces, is the biggest piece, really. You could technically print these two smaller, so they don't have to be huge. But again, King of Shiva moves around. This is actually my favorite shield I designed when I was writing the books. These are all basically shield designs and symbols from the novel series. And basically, yeah, you put this down, move this around, and wherever you put it, that is where your King of Shiva is. He can sit safely on there and be fine. There are other platforms. Okay. These are the oversized platforms. That way, when you get dragons, most of the dragons are nicely sized. What if you want to make a dragon really big? Say you think that's too small. It should be bigger than, bigger than the king even. You can still do that and still play with it on the game. So this gives you the option. I want to cover that right away because we're going to cover pieces. You're going to be looking at the pieces going, that's not going to work. Or what if I do the project to play option and my board is too small? The pieces won't fit all, not all of them will. So the platforms will. You can purchase them. They're not too expensive. They are useful in this respect, right? So let's move him off. Or actually, maybe we'll leave him on, because you know what? Let's get the example going. Pieces are the thing today. You have regular pieces, and you have not so regular pieces. And I'm going to bring in some of the dragons in this video. I didn't bring them in the last time. And I'll bring in my Shadow Stalker. Really cool Shadow Stalker guy. And my unicorn, because why not? I like the work they did on that unicorn. He is just... And again, my camera work is horrible. But the detail on the mane and everything with that is wonderful. And of course, the giant. Sorry, as I cover his head up. The giant with his club. They excelled in so many ways when they did these. Barbarian. These are all special characters. You've got the archer. He was going to be a regular character that you had to have on the field, and then it hit me that some armies did not have archers. So why am I expecting you to have an archer? That is not expected. Okay, again, you've got infantry. And cavalry. These are the expected. I always pick them up by the heads. I think it's most of the cases it's the safest way. So let's put these guys up here. They are your main pieces. They will move as their card predicts. and everything has a card. Every piece, you can move 2 squares or 3 squares. The archers can attack someone from 3 squares out. Dragons can attack someone from 3 squares out, or 1 or 2. It's generally based on logic. If you have a big long sword, you can hit someone from further out. If you've got a bow and arrow, you can hit someone from further out. Dragons the same way. But if all you have is an axe, you can only hit someone from 1 square. You might be able to, for something like this, what you would end up doing is have a human character. So you could put your cavalry on him, maybe. And movement is now increased for this guy. They move together. If you attempt to attack and destroy him, this dies, the Callias dies first. And the infantry is now taking over. If you want to make a mad dash for a castle, Callias is what you want. Not on, on a ground board. If you're on a water board, you want more sea animals. Again, they're sea animals. They're going to have different movements based on that sort of thing. The pieces are select with their special features. The Jadair, as I peer over my pieces here for the Jadair. Oh, right, he was in here. Jadair, where are you hiding? There you are. This is my favorite animal. He moves like anything else. He has a certain attack, a certain range of movement. His special features, he predicts an incoming attack. Basically, the attack is avoided and the opponent takes 1 hit damage of a roll on 3. So if you read your book, it mentions what they do. They attack like anyone else, so they're going to go 1, 2, then they're going to sneak off. They aren't going to stay right beside it. A big part of the play is you attack, you take a hit, and then you take off. Or maybe you take off this way. Or this way. If you're attacking in real life, you're not going to stand there and be hit. Oh, you hit me. That's nice. Let me just stand here and let you hit me back. No, you're going to shrink away. You're going to raise your shield and back up a step. Or you're going to find something defensive to do. So general play has that you're going to step out. Again, this square counts as 1 square. So if I'm attacking someone, that counts as 1, 2. I might even step back here. I might step here. I might step around again. I don't know how I'm going to do it. When you do the attacks, read the rules. You move through. I will actually hopefully get someone to do an actual game play with you on video, and we can actually record that. That would be amazing. But generally, the Jadair, so this guy here, his special feature is that you get to perform a counter. You take a damage, depending on what you roll, you do damage to them. You don't take any damage yourself. Or you can do pack hunter. So any Jadair, so if I have any Jadair within 2 squares of this guy, they attack together. Now, they have moved in, he has moved off. They are still moved in. So one risk of this, against the strategy of the game, do I want to leave all the Jadair here? Plus, again, you have to replace your cavalry and infantry with these special characters. So how many Jadair can you really put on a board and still have enough of these guys? And do you want to put all your extra pieces into Jadair? Maybe you want a barbarian or you want a giant. Okay, giants have different effects. If we're to move down, we go to this guy, the Clantien. Okay, he is, and I'm just reading from my computer while I do this. He has an Arctic Snap. It hurts the target for the initial attack and a second unless the Clantien dies. So you're going to do another damage, possibly another 2 damage if he dies after that last hit. If they only had 2 life left, then yes, you've lost your Clan Qian, but they lost their piece too. Frozen Paw, it freezes you in place. Again, you have to roll dice for these special effects. If you roll wrong, then all you've done is you attacked them, you took 1 of their health. Okay. That's all you do. If you roll the dice properly, you do these special features. It's all in the rule book. It's all covered in that respect. Kench are another pack animal, so you'll find I actually have 4 of them printed. One's in the case because they're awesome, and because in the novel series they fly in groups and they strip meat and muscle off of anything they attack. So they're actually quite carnivorous. They're the piranha of the air, basically. And yeah, they're hungry. Yeah, make sure to feed them. Let's go through another one here. The Ikishat. Really one of my least used animals in the novel series, and yet it's really interesting because that all is fur that's coming down. It's got a spiked tail. It's really quite vicious, but it's basically wearing a long, spindly coat the whole time. It lives in the Arctic, of course. It's one of the Arctic animals. Its special features are spiked tufts. It leaves a melee attacker residual 1-hit damage for the next 2 turns. Again, you have to roll 4 on the supplied dice, or you can do your own. The idea is you attacked it, so you just got hit by 1 point. So if you could do an extra damage, your special, maybe you'll knock it out, but know full well you're going to take a damage, possibly for 2 turns, if you attack this animal. So again, this would be a good one to have on your team, but how many can you put down? Who do you combine with their special effects? When we talked about boards in the last video, where if it's a water board, or is it an undead board, or an ogre board, you know, what if we involve the ogres? Well, the ogre combines and works with the other origin creatures, so they come together. You know, let's see. Ogre is still in his little package. He's hiding. Well, he works with his friends. So he's another pack animal. But again, how many of them do you include? The lovely bits of the strategy. And I'm doing the best I can right now. I want a better place to do a better video. I will. I don't want to wait forever to do these. And I keep waiting and putting it off, so it's like, nope, I'm doing this today. So there you go. The cards are still an update on that. They're in Canada now. I don't have them yet, so I can't do that video yet. Life is fun. It's rarely ever what you expect, but it's fun. You know, you've have to show that one off. That is an old board that I replaced with a new one. Lovely background I threw in, though. Lovely mountainous terrain, which I'm going to use when I display them at some point. That is a 4-foot ogre, if you're wondering. 4-inch, sorry, not 4-foot, my goodness. 4-inch ogre. Because I wanted to thank the artist who did that. Awesome artist, Jane Hoople. She did a great job on the ogres, and from that, and a few online pictures, 3D Avatar came up with this ogre. And I printed a 4-inch ogre for her, so she could have a copy of the 3D print of her ogre. And this was what? I may as well show these off too. Lean Nebrek did this clay creation for me of the Falori dragon, who shows up briefly in prequels, and then in the last book it's somewhat important. And it became this one, which they're actually shown together in the videos on YouTube right now. The pieces are shown rotating together. Again, Lean Nebrek did those. And again, we use, you know, this is a sort of original of 3D Avatar, but certainly taken from the sculpture that she did for me.